This room looks different since the last time I seen it. There was a generator sitting here last time I seen it.
Yes. Try to change.
All right, are we hooked up, ready to go? Okay, good morning. Welcome to the October 2nd meeting of the Floyd County Board of Supervisors. The first item on our agenda is to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that. A motion by Supervisor Kiefer, seconded by Keeling to approve the agenda. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. I received a text message this morning at 8:15 from Supervisor Jorgensen saying he would not be attending today. He is unable to attend today's meeting, so please note the Supervisor Jorgensen is excused. Item 2, public comments. Anyone like to make a public comment? Either in person or here on the phone.
Just
Jeff, you want
put on
the mayor?
I'm Jeff Wright, Mayor Caldwell. I'd like to put on a discussion item at the bottom of the meeting, or however we do that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It'd be another meeting.
Yeah, but I mean, it just a discussion.
It won't happen today.
Right. Oh, it won't happen.
No.
Can't discuss
We can't discuss an item that's not on our agenda. So, but we can put it on a future agenda. What are your comment on something?
Yeah, just Cowell's in kind of a crisis right now. Just wanted to bring the supervisors up to date on. We had our well go bad in Cowell, and we've had it looked at by professional well people, and they've deemed it's full of holes. The casing is, and it's pumping dirt and gravel and sand and everything. So they got it cleaned up enough. We're thinking we can get 2 months out of it, but we're into digging a new well. So that Cowell price tag is right in that 200 to 300,000 range. Government, I got people working on government money, government grants, water issue. Casey Sebastian is our rural water representative, a real nice guy, and he's looking for grants. Guy out of Humboldt, Preston Sandstorm. He is the grant. He's the one that knows where all the grants are. He writes grants. That's what he does. And they hooked me up with that. I visited with him, and he's working on some grants for us. DNR office out of Des Moines, Tyrone. He's the engineer that's going to be engineering this project. Tom out of Northway Well, same one, Charles City, New Hampton. They all use. Tom has worked on our well couple times. He came up on first thing Monday and sucked this well out, sucked all the sand out, got us somewhat clean. It's a little cloudy, but it's clean enough to shower and stuff in. And it's clean enough. We took it to a DNR sample over to Keystone Labs, and it did pass the safety for the DNR. So they did raise the water advisory, the boil advisory off Cowell. We had boil advisory on. The water's clean enough. So they don't think we're going to get maybe a month, 6 weeks, possibly 2 months out of this. That's just kind of a brief update. We have the first time May we done this well, did this, and they come in and they cleaned it. We spent, by the time we got done, we spent $52,000 on this well to clean it and to scrub it, and we thought we had the problem solved. And they even did the camera down it. I don't know when they run a scrub brush up and down it, that if they filled the holes in, so we didn't see them. They didn't see anything at that time. We got 2.5 months out of it, started getting bad water again. So they come back again, and this time they didn't disturb it. They just went down, sucked the sand out, and then they went down with a camera. Then they could see the holes anywhere from a grain of sand all the way up to we're getting pea gravel in. There's a layer of pea gravel down about, I think they said at 230 feet or somewhere. And when Dad drilled his new one, they hit a layer of pea gravel down there when they were drilling. So, and our map does say that we have some pea gravel. The holes are getting big enough that pea gravel is now coming in the casing. So we've throttled the well clear back, asked people just to use bare minimum water, and we're just kind of idling along here until we can get a new one installed. One of the options they did say we could line it. A lining will hold only the material back. It will not strengthen the case. So if it collapses, the lining's not going to hold it, and it comes with a price tag of $20,000 to $25,000. And they're saying you've stuck $50,000 into this well already. Why stick another $20,000 into it? And they're saying we could get anywhere from maybe 4 months to, they've said they have had them last up to 10 years. They said years won't, because your casing is not strong enough to hold that long. So they really advised the DNR engineer, Tom, has advised that we not go that way and just cap this and just plug this well and call it done. Instead of end up with 90,000 in a well where it's no good. So I'm not asking for anything, just wanted to bring you guys up to date, as part of our county supervisors. So I guess people are really working good with us. Jason Webster checked with Hy-Vee about getting some bottled water. Hy-Vee donated a whole pallet of water to Cowell. I come and got it, and I'm distributing it out of the town shed out there. Anybody that we got 20, I think there's 29 houses now that's got people in them. So, and I just went around one by one and took them a letter saying, hey, this is what's wrong with it. Well, I want to keep everybody in Cowell in the loop, because they're all going to end up paying for this thing. Some part of it anyway. So I want to keep everybody in the loop, and it's easier just to go around talking on a one-to-one basis. you get somebody at a meeting and they, might have 3 questions and don't want to talk in front of everybody, but everybody's being real cooperative. So Jeff Sherman's going to take another option we do have if our well completely falls in. The fire department has a small well out there that they fill their fire trucks with. They use our water for their sinks and drinking water, everything, but just the truck water. They have a well that was there and they are using it now. We can possibly certify that, test it. If everything goes good, we could possibly hook up to that. That would be, we're running a 7.5 horse pump. They got a 1/2 horse pump, I think, in theirs. So I mean, it's be just turn it on, run it maybe for 2 hours. It's not a solution that we can turn it on and let it run nonstop. I don't want to wreck their well, because then they got to start sucking out of our well for their fire protection. I mean, for the fire water, and I don't want. So Jeff Sherman's going to test it tomorrow. We should have test results back on Thursday. We'll know what, if that's even an option. I mean, if it's way out of check and we got to pour a bunch of money into this thing to get it so we can use it, then that's not, won't be an option. The second option is Iowa has a truck with a nurse tank. You put the tank there and you can a semi, and they can haul water from Charles City, New Hampton, whoever. I mean, I'm assuming we'd come to Charles City. Corey is, I talked to Thad Johnson, lives in Cowell, and he didn't, if you only need 4,000 gallons, they didn't think they're, I mean, Thad couldn't absolutely tell me, but Corey's one that could. And he said, I'm sure there ain't a problem with that being. So that is another possibility if we absolutely run out of water, that we could truck water in there. It is at a cost of, we have to pay for a driver as well as fuel. The truck itself is government made paid truck for the use of emergency people that have emergency needs for water. So that is another option we've explored. So we have a couple options if this well absolutely goes down. Okay. So anyway, any questions? If not, well, that's all I have. I appreciate you listening, and like I say, I'll keep close contact with us, as well as Jeff Sherman is staying right with me on this. Guys, or always feel free to call. Anything else? Got any questions for me?
All right, well, thank you for updating the board on the water situation in Caldwell. Sounds like you're well on your way to take care of it the best you can.
Yeah.
You've made a number of contacts, and if the county can be of further assistance during the time, let us know.
Yep.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Mayor.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
Any other public comment? Anyone listening on the phone? If not, we'll move to item 3, review action regarding the approval of the September 25th, 2023 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes of September 25th, 2023.
Seconded. Been motion by Supervisor Keeper, seconded by Keelan to approve the September 25th, 2023 minutes. Further discussion? Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. Item 4, review action regarding approval of claims.
I looked at the claims over the weekend and I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. So I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second the motion. It's been a motion by Supervisor Kiefer, seconded by Keelan, to approve the claims as presented. Further discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve the claims as presented is approved. Item 5, updates on various boards and commissions activities since the last meeting.
I didn't have any meetings with any county boards or commissions. I did attend the Area Development Corporation open house on Tuesday evening. And then on Thursday, I met with Merlin Bartz and Isaac Lampa with Invenergy. And we talked about their proposed wind farm to some detail. So that was the extent of mine.
Thank you. I attended a Charles City Area Development Corporation board meeting and worked with some county residents who will be presenting a petition regarding the wind ordinance, and also talked to some of the wind companies regarding that petition that's going to be proposed. And that was the extent of my meetings this week. Item 6, update on law enforcement center courthouse project.
I am meeting Wednesday afternoon with mechanical engineering out of Mesa City to look at get an estimate on changing boilers intake from using air in the penthouse instead of drawing it from outside. So that'll be the second estimate. I've had trouble finding the second one. We got one from Mills already. And but mechanical engineer agreed to come over and look at it. They have someone that lives in town that works for them. Jerry, Jimmy Joslin, does that name ring a bell? He lives here in town but works for mechanical engineering, and I'm meeting him at 2:00 Wednesday afternoon, and so they can take a look at it and provide us with an estimate.
I did talk to Kelvin at the ADC event the other night, and he said that he's, has been waiting on Johnson Controls because they just have to do the computer, or they're ones that can do the computer work on it. And I said, well, I thought we were looking at, there was something that had to be done within the room. And he said, no, there's nothing. It's just getting the system to take the air from inside the room. So it's just the computer setup. And so I asked him, I said, well, then what, we have the system. He said, he talked to John and Cody about it, and they didn't know how to do what was being asked of for that particular room with that computer system. But I said, so there's nothing physical that happens in the room. We're not putting any exchange thing in the room. And he says, no, it's just using what's already there. And I said, well, is it just something we need to work with Johnson Controls on then? But since there isn't any structural thing that's happening.
I thought there was, but I'm not a plumbing and heating guy.
I thought there was too, but he said, no, it's just working with Johnson Controls to get it hooked up. Because we're just going to
install a room air kit for drawing combustion air from mechanical penthouse.
If we need to talk to Johnson
I don't know,
Controls.
this is all Greek to me.
It is me too.
But okay, well, I mean, maybe we'll get the same answer from.
Maybe we need to make a call to Johnson Controls and see what, because they have all that. Their name might even be on some of that. That's what the system is with. So maybe we need to do a call to them sometime.
I can reach out to Johnson Controls to see what they have to say.
Yeah. Well, if you want to do it together or anything, and with John, the custodian who has the system, if there's something that we just need to tweak in there. I haven't been down there to see, but all those pipes are just unhooked from the back of the boilers.
Yep.
So it's already getting the air in the room. So if there's just something like in the system for the VAVs to do something different, That's all it is. If the intent is just leave those things hanging off the back of the
Well,
boilers.
the only thing is that's been mentioned to me is that they're not sure that there's enough available air inside the penthouse, and they may have to draw some from outside. And I don't know how that works, but
And that's what I understand. That's the controls in the Johnson Control system that you tell it to pull more air into.
okay.
So it's not a plumber that's gonna do anything. It's telling the computer to do
Sure.
that.
Okay.
So maybe it's just something if we could get John or Cody and Johnson Controls on the phone to see what it is, or maybe starting with an email saying, what do we,
Yeah, we need to do that. One of these days we'll be using those boilers probably.
yeah.
Okay, I'll get together with John and see if we can make a phone, maybe include you, Gloria, in the joint phone call. All right.
Is there anything further on this agenda?
Yes, I have, they did the camera scope,
Mhm.
put it on a thumb drive. I have the thumb drive planned on showing that. It worked on Friday. Today, I went to turn it on. I was just gonna do some snippets and email them to you to show that there are probably some 2-inch size rocks in some areas of the system. And Sean said it probably does need to get cleaned out. You can see where there's stuff hanging on clinging on to the rocks already. And so I didn't get a chance on Friday or this morning to call the city of Charles City, but Cody, our custodian, had an idea if we could have Mick Gage's jet doesn't have enough power to push those rocks out of there. Cody wondered if the fire department, if we could work with the city of Charles City, and if the fire department could use their jet system or their system, I should say, and that might push the rocks out to the city side, and then, catch them on the city side. It'd be collaboration with the city of Charles City to, coordinate the efforts for it. So I plan on making those calls today to the city to see if we can maybe work that out. It's from where the pipe goes down. If Bernie's got the thumb drive to see if he can make it work, he thinks there's a solder that broke on the wiring. He took the thumb drive apart. So he's working on to see if he can get it going. But there's definitely 10 foot out. 10 foot out, there's areas where the rocks do need to be cleaned out.
Well, there was certainly board consensus that should be done, so follow up on that as appropriate.
Yep.
Is there anything further on this agenda?
Nope.
All right, moving to number 7, review action regarding setting a date and time for a public hearing for WWU LLC applications to rezone property from ag to industrial -1 for a parcel for the purpose of putting up a storage building or lot. So we received a communication from the Planning and Zoning Commission that they're going to be holding a hearing. What is that?
Yes, in your packet, you got the paper that shows that. And actually, I've put on the agenda WW because the property is owned by WW. That is Chris Wagner, that is the owner of WW. This is for the storage units to expand on the storage units that are north of Charles City, just
outside the city
limits. And so it's adding to that. So they are having zoning commission. So Nick Hopp is representing Chris Wagner that owns WW, but the property change is on WW's property. If all goes through, then Nick Hopp will buy that property from WW and put up the storage units. But it is WW's property. I did talk to Jen to see if that needs to be changed to Nick Hopp representing WW, thinks she's okay with it the way it is. So anyway, their hearing is going to be October 12th at 8 a.m. in the EOC. And then the next meeting for us could be October 16th at 9:15 a.m. This publication would go to the newspapers today, so that it's timely done for their 7 days in our 7 and 20 days in our 4 and 20 days.
All right.
So we need a motion on that then?
For the county hearing, if you want it at 9:15, that's what I told her to put in there. It seems like that's the typical time we've been putting on agendas.
9:15, what date, Gloria?
October 16th.
Okay, I'll make a motion to have a public hearing at 9:15 on October 16th regarding the hearing for Double W LLC application to rezone property from ag to industrial 1 for the purpose of putting up a storage building on lot.
I'll second the motion. There's a motion by Supervisor Kiefer, seconded by Keelan to set the time and date of a hearing on Monday, October 16th at 9:15 here in the workroom regarding this zoning change. Is there any discussion? Anyone listening on the phone that'd like to make a comment? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. Item 8, discussion regarding how to improve audio for call-in participants during supervisor meetings. Actually, during and after last week's meeting, there was some calls I received from members of the public who did not hear our everything that was being discussed during that meeting. And so talked to Bernie Solomon, who came down and made some adjustments to the OWL, and hopefully we're transmitting our meeting this time, and so all the people who are listening on the phone can hear it. But I wanted to put this on the agenda because it is important that a lot of people, or some people anyway, use that system. And so if they're not hearing, we want to make sure that they can hear. I guess we're going to find out from feedback if people are hearing this meeting. We can always ask people to speak up, and but there are some other possibilities that we could enact. A couple that come to mind are, one is ask people to come to a specified spot at a podium where we could put a microphone. I know the city of Chelsea does that when they have their public comment period. That's one consideration. It just depending on the time of the meeting, and some of the people who were listening couldn't even hear people at the table here. They mentioned that they didn't hear everything that Dr. Carr was saying. So another option is, do we need to have microphones at everyone's desk? So I just put this on the agenda for discussion to see what the board might think, and just continue the ways to improve this part of our meeting.
Okay, I know microphones on the table would be one option, but are there microphones that could clip to a collar? And leave them here when we're done for the day or something, or?
So I think there's a couple different things. What's happening, what people that are calling in are having a microphone on that phone, which I don't think what you do with nothing that you do with the OWL is going to have anything to do with that phone. That is what it is for a conference phone. It has its own speaker. The only way you're going to get more volume is people talking louder, as Mark said, coming closer to the phone, whether it be at a podium or something like that. The tweaks to this OWL are going to help the YouTube video recording, or the video that loads up to YouTube. But that conference phone is the mic that people aren't hearing people on.
Are there better models of that we can get that would work better?
You could ask Bernie if he wants to see if there's a better phone system that way. We've never had dial-ins before COVID unless somebody was calling in specific to a meeting. But it definitely is a larger room that if people aren't up at the table, I don't know how well a conference phone is going to pick anything up other than having, being in a closer proximity to that microphone.
So microphones would help us at the table, maybe, for them to hear better, right? No?
Because you're not, only if you have a sound system that's going to elevate your noise, if it's talking into it, but if that's just going to the owl, it's only going to improve what goes to the owl. Because that microphone, so nothing ties to the microphone there, so it's just whatever volume you're getting out on there. So it may help people that are listening from the owl, like, Brandy is out there, Candace is out there, and Mark Pitts is out there.
The people that call in are the ones that are having trouble hearing us.
Yes.
Some people are, I've checked with my staff and they said most of the time they can hear everything mostly just fine, but they couldn't hear the people like Scotty Andrews talking in the back of the room. They couldn't always hear him because he was talking soft. Unless you put that right in front of that person talking, that's the microphone for it. It's gonna get some distance, but it's not gonna help tremendously
I don't know.
for a microphone system.
Well,
What he did do was reset the owl systems because in the old assembly room, there were so many hard surfaces, a hard floor, no carpet to absorb. And so I'm expecting what he did is probably going to be better if you listen to the YouTube recordings comparing last week to this week. If those changes that he made might help that part of it. But you'd have to check with him if you want to invest in a different.
I may visit with Bernie, see if he has any suggestions. It would be frustrating, I know, for people to call in if they can't hear, and sometimes people are too shy to come up to the front to talk.
Well, I think that's the kind of cost of being heard, though. And if it's a fix, it's a fix. To invite people who want to comment to come sit right there and be there so everyone can hear their comments. Let's check with Bernie to see if there's anything regarding that device that could be improved. But if not, a better way is actually, if you want to make comment at a meeting, you come up and come here. It's not like it's not being done at other places. It's not that big of an inconvenience. It's rather a small room. It's not.
Weren't there some comments made that they had trouble hearing us too?
Scott Andrews said someone let him know that they couldn't hear me.
Okay.
But you pick up, I can play that recording and you can hear almost everybody well with that recording. And I don't know if you've watched any of the YouTube videos, but you can hear those just fine. For the most part, unless somebody's extremely far away. But that's like on that phone system.
Okay. I'll see what Bernie, I'll see if there's another more sophisticated unit than this or what his thoughts are. But we don't need microphones individually is what I'm gathering. You don't think?
Doesn't sound like it's going to affect this problem.
Okay.
Yeah, the comment, right? That was the specific.
If they go in on there, it might help that if they were to dial in that way.
Okay. I'll visit with Bernie and see what he thinks.
All right, and we can consider just requesting people who want to comment to come to the desk or this desk and comment so they can be heard.
We don't have a podium here, do we? Is there still one up in the EOC or whatever around up there? So I don't know if that's the answer either, I guess. That one over here in the corner or somewhere.
You'd have to be close to this.
That's very
Yeah.
close to that.
Yeah.
Pull it right up there. If you had a podium with mics on it, again, if the mics are tied to the owl, that would help the owl. If you had mic system that you had speakers in here, that might help the phone.
Mhm.
Because then you'd be hearing
Sure,
from the speakers.
okay.
All right, well, we'll do a little investigating and see if we can improve this situation and possibly implement anyone who wants to speak to the board to come up and speak into the device.
Okay.
All right, number 9, future agenda items. We are planning to have at least this being discussed, a discussion regarding a petition. I have seen the petition that is being circulated regarding a wind moratorium and request to have the zoning commission enact changes to the large wind ordinance. And we are identifying and letting all the people who might be interested in that, the wind companies, the petitioners, and others, that meeting is being tentatively scheduled for next week, October 9th. Because I would expect quite a large number of people to be at that meeting. I'd like to look into the EOC on October 9th. And perhaps if we could put it something like 10 o'clock. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that want to comment on something like that. And hopefully we can get through our rest of our business prior to that meeting.
It is an agenda item for the zoning commission on October 12th. They plan on talking about wind ordinance already.
Well,
Makes a difference. They're already going to do it.
I have
Yeah.
not seen their agenda item.
Yeah. Jason told Jim he wanted that on the agenda.
So that's good. So
He
the
attended
petition
that.
is coming to us. And so we said we'd put it on our agenda for some discussion. So that's what I'm planning on doing on October 9th at 10 a.m. And we want to make sure that the Zoom meeting is available over there. I know you're going to be gone.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you can help us arrange that for that.
You might let him know that there is a meeting already planned with zoning for the 12th too. Candy, I think, is on the phone, so she knows that there is a October 12th meeting at 8 a.m. for zoning to address wind turbines.
All right. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. Those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
All right.
Aye. You're adjourned.